I was going to come up with a clever intro for today's show, but I don't have one. Recycle bin. That was quality, wow. Brian. That was the best. That's the best. I'm glad I sat here for a solid 2 minutes trying to think of an intro, and that's the best I had. That is the best I had.
That was rough.
Everyone, Recycle Bin episode 8. I know the episode this time. Recorded June 9th, 2018. There's the date. I have the right date. It is Saturday. I have the day right. I have the right episode number, and we are not alone. Before we jump into the news stories for this week, we are joined by the lovely, the beautiful EposVox, Adam Taylor, everybody. That's not Adam Taylor. This is Adam Taylor.
Nope. I have possessed Brian today.
Oh my god.
Adam Taylor, everybody. He looks like Brian, but he's not Brian. Before we jump in, Adam, want to tell everyone where to find you and what you do.
Hey, I'm over at youtube.com/EposVox. That's EposVox. I do tech educational videos, tutorials, deep dives. I did a full 50-episode masterclass about streaming with OBS, things like
50
that.
50 episodes?
Yeah.
Christ. Yeah. Well, I should have watched more of your tutorials so I didn't cut to not you at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, really.
Brian.
That was intentional.
How are you this week?
Hi.
Why are you just fucking sitting there petting your cat?
I'm not petting her. She's attacking me.
Style.
I'm just trying to keep her satiated so she doesn't tear apart my life. I'm good. I just got a little Caesar's pizza a couple hours ago. Life is looking up.
Like a whole pizza?
Solid stuff.
Yeah, dude, I would do anything.
$5 fucking hot ready.
I would do anything to be sponsored by Little Caesars.
Yeah,
What's the deal there? Do we peer pressure them? Can we have people tweet them?
Yep. That works.
That's a good idea. I like that. Yeah, we'll just make
on every
the
intro
fans
from now on. Just have the little guy come up and go pizza.
Just
there you go.
We won't mention it. We'll just have the guy come up until eventually we're paid.
They'll either sue us
and then we'll
or
make them pay for every episode they didn't sponsor before because it still has the little guy in it. This is a genius plan.
It. There you go. Mm-hmm. Can't backfire at all.
And another thing I love, Adam is wearing a shirt that represents Recycle Bin as a whole because every week this show is demonetized because we say the swears in it.
We do say the swears. Fuck, shit, bitch. All right. Got that out of the way.
Got him. Edgy.
No chance of being monetized today.
Yeah, it's all gone. It's all gone. So before we started recording, we were talking about the Front Page Tech Twitter is gone. It's not gone. It is temporarily.
Temporarily?
Temporarily. It's temporarily restricted. I don't know what happened. It was like 3 a.m, and this is the first time Brian found out because I forgot to tell him.
Yeah.
It's like 3 a.m. I get a fucking email from Twitter. What are you doing? What are you doing to yourself? I'm not doing this.
Keep going.
People, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. This is Brian this time.
Just Millie's foot.
Thank you. I'm glad.
Anyway. I didn't say to cut to me. You did that.
Oh yeah, you're just doing this for me so I can see it?
Yeah.
You don't want me to cut to you?
You're welcome.
Okay. Makes sense.
No. What the fuck?
So,
you ruined it.
Fucking let me talk! Okay. So 10 out of 10 shows so far, everybody. Okay, laying there like that. That's how I sleep. That's actually how I sleep. My mouth open, noises come out, and my phone goes off. It's an email. And my email notification is the Western that.
Yeah, the whistle, right?
Yeah, the whistle. And I look, and it's like, your Twitter account for Front Page Tech is temporarily locked for unusual activity. And I saw it, and I was like, what? And I opened up, and I saw that before that email, there was a login from some Firefox browser somewhere in Indonesia or some shit. I don't know where it was from. And I just went, oh, that sucks, and went back to sleep and forgot about it till now. So
That's
for days, the Front Page Tech Twitter has been locked. And I can't get in.
Twitter ain't big enough for the two of us.
I tried to get in. They didn't change the password, whoever the asshole was. I got back in, but it was like, hey, you just have to verify your phone number. Problem is, the phone number that is with that account, I no longer have.
Change the number.
Yeah, I changed my number, and I forgot to change the number on Twitter. And if you don't have that, there's no other option. You can't just do it through email or anything else. So I had to email Twitter and be like, hey, this is my account, one of my accounts. I can't get in. Please let me in. And I haven't heard anything back for a couple days. So hopefully, I don't know. Maybe we never have Front Page Tech Twitter again. Maybe that's that's the fate of the account. I don't know. Maybe it just stays locked. But if you don't have a phone number for the Twitter account, it's all over. Just all hope is gone. You can't get back in. It's impossible, is what I've learned.
Can I just say Twitter's login or like account management services are the worst?
They are. They are.
So
actually.
I wanted to do the cliche thing where I deleted all of my tweets before a certain point, just to cover my butt, do whatever.
Yeah,
you have an option in settings. You have an option in the settings to request your Twitter archive, and most people say they get it in like 15 minutes. Over the past 6 months, I have done it like 20 times, never received it. Finally emailed them, and I haven't got around to it yet, but I finally emailed or like filed a support ticket, and they're like, yes, we need you to scan your ID, send us your phone number, send us all this stuff to prove who you are. And I'm just like, just send me a spreadsheet with my tweets. Like,
yeah. What?
Oh my god!
I'm not asking for personal information.
You
just
were
the public
logged.
tweets.
You were logged into the Twitter. I mean, it was obviously yours. You went in the settings, asked for an archive, but you still had to show your ID and stuff.
Yeah, like they just won't give it to me. Won't give me my tweets.
Wow.
Oh, good. They used to do that with me where I couldn't log in. I had two-factor authentication on, and they would send a verification code, but I would never get it. It would just like, okay, we sent the code, and I'd just sit, and I would sit, and it never came, and I just couldn't log in. Kind of like where we are now. Front Page Tech is like, the Front Page Tech account, realistically, is just set up to retweet Brian and I, like, automatically.
Mm-hmm.
It does that so, like, you see us on YouTube, you can just follow one account instead of like following me. You just get all the tweets by following Front Page Tech. So whatever. If they locked me out of my Twitter, I would have cried for a couple hours. But now I'm just sort of waiting for an email, and I hope that I eventually get the Front Page Tech Twitter back, or else the guy in Indonesia, he has it. I don't know.
Maybe he'll do some good with it, and start his own tech channel.
Yeah.
Do some charity.
Second Page Tech.
Really give back.
Second Page
So.
Tech.
Yeah.
There was a Twitter account that and I think a YouTube channel that existed for too long. It was like a few months that was just called Down with FPT, and they just attacked us and stalked us for a while until what got them was their Twitter picture, their avatar was our logo, and Twitter took them down for using our logo. Not for like the harassment part, because why would Twitter do that? Just they used our logo, so they got taken down. But
Tim Cook really should have known better.
Tim Cook should have known.
It was him.
I mean, it makes sense since I'm such an Apple hater and I single-handedly want to take Apple down. Which,
Oh yeah.
speaking of that,
Here we go.
Segway.
Yeah. Segue. Good job,
Good segue.
Adam. The only one bringing this show back on the fucking tracks. So there is a class action lawsuit going on right now with Apple and this dude named Kenneth from Colorado. So shout out to Kenneth. He claims that every Apple Watch has the same defect, and that Apple knew about this, and they charge people for repairs. And when he says every Apple Watch, he means literally every single one, most likely because they haven't really changed the design from Series 1 to, what are we on, Series 3, Series 14? I don't know. But they all look the same, and they all have the same defect that causes the screen to pop off. And when I first read the story, I was like, okay, whatever. He's just trying to maybe get money, or I don't know why. But when that episode aired, my brother reminded me that his Apple Watch, the screen actually popped off. And I totally forgot about this, or else I would have said it in the actual episode where we reported on the story. His screen popped off, like totally just detached. He didn't like bump it or drop it. It was on his wrist and just went boop. And then Apple made him pay $149 for the repair. And it was like right after he bought it, it just popped off, and Apple was like, oh yeah, that's just $149, which I'm pretty sure is like half the price of the goddamn watch. And
Something like that.
Yeah, and so he paid for the repair, didn't think anything of it, and now here we are, where it sounds awfully familiar to the iPhone 6 dilemma, where that class action lawsuit regarding Bengate and touch disease forced Apple to basically show documents to the court, and those documents showed that they knew that the iPhone 6 was going to bend, and they still made people pay for repairs with issues regarding the defect, and it was Shocker, $150 for the repair. So here we are with this Apple Watch thing where I think now it sounds way too familiar and I feel like there's a pattern. And I want to clarify something because in the show, last night's show, I said that I'm leaning towards every single Apple Watch having a defect. That's where I'm leaning towards now. But God, the comment section is just a dumpster fire. It's so bad. People are like, well, my Apple Watch is fine, so you're just lying. Like, John is just saying that every Apple Watch is defective, and he's lying because mine is fine. I've had 3 Apple Watches, all right, and it's all fine. But listen, every single product can have the same defect, but yet never suffer from an issue related to the defect. Kind of like how cars get recalled all the time because the brakes don't work. It doesn't mean your brakes stopped working. It means your car has the same defect and that one day your brakes might give out. I'm pretty sure if your Apple Watch, if your Apple Watch, the brakes on the Apple Watch didn't work and you just couldn't stop walking, you wouldn't risk it. You'd just be like, okay, here you go. I'll just get a new one. That's what I don't understand. It's like, fuck it. It's like herpes. The Apple Watch has herpes, but it doesn't mean that it's going to act up and it's always going to show signs of herpes. It'll just be one day when you don't expect it, herpes just appears on the watch. That's what's happening.
Huh.
And I always share my opinion. Everyone knows my opinion. And I never get to hear Adam on his channel talk about this stuff. So Adam, what is your opinion on the Apple Watch thing? Is there a conspiracy theory here? We were talking in the pre-show about a conspiracy theory with PUBG and Fortnite. So now, give me the goods.
I just find it hilarious when this seems like a surprise to people. I have only owned a small handful of Apple products, but I have known since I was in high school, so going back 10, 15 years of history of Apple products, that this is a regular thing for them. There were older MacBooks that just turned themselves on while they were in your backpack and overheated and melted the screen, and they swapped them out. There's been, in every major Apple product line, there has almost always been some defect, some problem caused by the shortcuts that they take, and the value is the Apple customer service that they'll replace it. And I've always found that hilarious because whenever I ask someone how they could pay like $3,000 for a brand new laptop, they're like, well, I get the Apple thing and they take care of it whenever it breaks. And they wind up having to take it to the Apple store like 50 times. And I'm like, I have never had to fully send in an entire computer for repair in my entire life. How is that a good thing? And the same thing with the watches, the phones. And I don't know if you've been following, there's another tech channel that's been covering the Visa mount for the iMac Pro.
Yeah,
literally, if you unscrew the screws, they break off. And then they just.
And the Visa mount is just some third-party shitty company that Apple just put their logo on, so they can't even
and I'm sure they're going to say it's some third-party battery that's causing the screen to pop off, even though that's not really a problem.
It's definitely not Tim Cook's
shortcuts. They take design shortcuts to produce these products. And eventually things happen. And if you're bought into the ecosystem, the fact that you can take it up there and get it replaced and not have to pay full price is somehow better. But I've never understood why that's acceptable for any product that they've made.
Yeah, now that you say that, it totally makes sense. Because, that's the thing. Apple has great customer service. Well, sometimes.
Well, even that has been dwindling because I've been keeping up with a lot of stories of people horror stories essentially of Apple employees who worked in say the Genius Bar, for instance. They've actually made it more difficult to sign up to get an appointment with the geniuses at the Genius Bar to actually get things serviced. And it's become, they're front loading it all with self-service and a lot of hoops to jump through to actually get to a person. So that same Apple quality customer service is actually going away in a sense too. It's not the same as it used to be. So even that is lessened.
And maybe it's not what it used to be because there's such an influx because all the shit is hitting the fan with every product they have. The MacBook doesn't work. The keys aren't responsive. The Apple Watch, the screen is popping off. There's iPhone issues, and nobody would have known a thing. Nobody would have even suspected a thing if Apple didn't turn in court documents that said they knew about the iPhone 6. And now we have to question everything they do, I feel like.
Yeah,
for years,
it feels like that. Mm-hmm.
You know who's doing something good, though? Google.
Who? Google is?
Yes, and when I say good, I mean the Pixel phones look fucking terrible. That's what I mean.
Oh,
by good.
okay. So
They're real
okay,
bad.
I was gonna say.
They're very, very terrible. Okay, just
Ugh,
okay.
dated.
Well, there's a bigger topic I want to jump into, but Adam, just from like the leaks, right, of the Pixel 3 and the Pixel 3 XL, what do you think?
It looks like every other smartphone that releases.
Okay, good. Which is a problem. I feel like that. I mean, the Pixel 3, I guess like if Google offered the phone to me for free, I would use it. But the 3 XL with the chin and the notch that is the biggest notch I've ever seen so far it looks so bad. It looks like a toy that I got from Dollar General. Have you ever? And I still buy them. You know, the toy. Not sponsored by Dollar General, by the way, unless they want to give us money. They sell like toy cell phones for kids, except the cell phones look like they were from the 90s.
Did you say you still buy them?
No, what? I don't recall.
Is that a regional thing? Dollar General? Is that a regional thing?
Dollar
Probably.
General? No. Anything with the word general in it is everywhere, generally.
Adam, where are you? Where are you in the U.S.?
I am not far from John, actually. I am in southern Indiana.
Oh, so you're not far
Okay.
from us.
Do you have Dollar Generals over there?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
Really, Brian?
It's either global. No. It's either like continental U.S. or Midwest East Coast. So I'm curious. Put in the chat if you have a Dollar General.
To us or available to everyone.
Press F for
Exactly. It's
respect
one of those.
in chat if you have a Dollar General. What
There
I'm
you
more
go.
interested in is the budget
It didn't
Pixel
die.
phone.
The Pixel. Like
I mean, it's
what's
close.
it going to be
It's
called? Is
close.
there any name leaks yet? Are there name leaks for the
Fuck, there's a
budget?
code name that they're using right now. Brian, look
Hang
it
on.
up. Google it. There's a code name that they're using right now that like literally means like mid-range, middle of the road, some shit.
Blue Line.
Nope.
Is that it?
Nope. It's Spanish, I think.
Hmm. Okay.
That's the best. That's all I can
Despacito?
give you. But I'm more interested in that because I feel like that like brings them back to their roots with the Nexus line, and the lower price, really great value phones. I feel are the best
Albacore?
way. No, where are
There's
you
so many.
looking?
Dude, there's a bunch. There's Crosshatch, Albacore, Blue
Dude,
Line.
you're
There's a
just
bunch.
looking up random words and being like, "Is this it?" you just
I
typed in
looked up-
Spanish words and whatever the result
looked
is,
up
you're like, "Is this it?"
Look up Pixel 3 code name, and that's what's coming up.
No, you fucking idiot! The Pixel 3 is not the same thing as the budget Pixel.
I'm so sorry. Hang on. Sorry, guys. Hang on. Let me interpret John's nonsense.
I'm surprised you didn't go. The code name is
term.
3XL. Just find the budget one.
Bonito.
Bonito, that's it.
Bonito?
Yes.
I don't think that's Spanish.
But Bonito? Who said what?
It is now.
It is.
Bonito definition. It's either Japanese or. Wait, hang on. A smaller relative of the tunas
Bonito.
with dark oblique stripes on the back and important as food is. And
Okay.
it's a fish. It is Spanish. Yay.
Okay, but you said it could
The
be
Google
Japanese.
Pixel XL.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Fish are all Japanese.
All of them. So the budget Pixel is a small, tiny tuna fish, is what I'm getting here.
It is.
Yep.
It is fucking Japanese too. Anyway, continue.
No, it's not.
It's also used in. Well, it's a fish. Who cares?
There's bonito and bonito. It's totally different.
We're moving on.
They're calling it the
I'm more
Nexus 5.
racist, horrible thing.
I feel like the best way because I feel like they've lost all credibility. The launch of the Pixel 2 and 2 XL was terrible. The Pixel 2 XL was meh. And now with the notch, like this is Google's handiwork. They're supposed to be like, look, this is the hardware that Android should be running on, everybody. And the hardware that they're giving us this year looks like horse shit. Their main objective, Google should not be interested in selling hardware. They need to be focused on getting Google services in people's pockets. That's all that matters. And I feel like the best way to do that.
That's what's happened.
Well, I feel
they've
like
shifted the focus from actually making. I mean, they never truly made the phones, but they always made it seem like that was from Google, like the original Chromebooks. And then
Yeah.
they're like, okay, no one cares if we made it. Have someone else make it, and then they started going downhill, which is probably what's happening to Apple behind the scenes.
I feel like a budget Pixel, which I would fucking buy in a heartbeat. I feel like that's the best way to get stock Android in people's pockets and convince them to use Google hardware again, because number one, we won't have that many expectations for a budget Pixel phone. We won't be so nitpicky. If you give us a $700-800 Pixel device and fucking shit doesn't have wireless charging and it's gross, we're not going to be. Then people will complain. Internet reviewers will complain. But if the phone is like $350, $400 and has stock Android on it, there'll be a lot less to complain about. Not the same expectations, and I don't think people will care as much. I will definitely buy a budget Pixel phone because the Pixel 3 XL looks like I want to kill myself. 10 out of 10. Brian, what do you think? Budget Pixel phone, would you buy it?
They're all fucking ugly. Every single one of the Pixel phones. What are they doing? Like, I haven't found
Am I the only one
any
that
of the
just
Pixel
thinks
phones.
smartphones in general are ugly in 2018?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I mean, the last good-looking phone
Okay.
I've had is the OnePlus 5T. That's it. No notch. Nice little bezels. Basic shit. I don't need a notch. I don't need... How is Google okay with these Pixel phones looking the way they do? Like, is this what they really want? Because we always talk about how the Pixel phones are the ideal iteration of Android, right?
Well, they're supposed to
So this is
be.
like... Right. But this is what they have... Like, this is what they come up with? Like, this is what they really want? Like...
Oh, yeah.
It's just... Ugh.
I feel like they're admitting, though, like, every Android OEM implementing a notch is like, oh, yeah, Apple is definitely the superior design here, the iPhone. We'll just give you that. They're just admitting it, except it's shittier. It's just a shittier knockoff of an iPhone. It's not better.
Yeah.
It's just worse.
No.
I don't understand. Like, and it feels like just a year ago we were all like, wow, we're like at peak smartphone. Like, where else do we go from here? What's going to be the next trend? I feel like the next trend is just going to be like, just make them better. They're not going to start looking different. And now here we are, where every phone has the fucking notch on it. Every single phone, except for Samsung. Please hold on, Samsung. Just keep holding
right?
on.
Oh my god.
But like, I just don't understand how that, like, when they released the iPhone 10 or announced it, I wish, along with the disappointment of that, we also knew, oh yeah, and every other phone from this point on is going to look like this for like the next year and a half.
Yeah.
And here I am with two massive bezels on top and the bottom.
Yeah.
I don't.
But at least they're symmetrical. You know.
What do you have? What is that?
Is
What is that
Galaxy
on the
left?
right?
Note 5 and a Mate 10 Pro.
You have a Note 5?
Mate 10 Pro. Wow.
Yes.
Do you use the Note 5?
I just switched to the Mate 10 Pro, but
Oh.
the Note
So you've-
5 was
you've
my
been using a
contract
Note
phone
5?
for Mate 10 too. Yeah. Until the
Contract,
battery
gotcha.
stopped charging. Well, I mean, it
Yeah.
charges, but it lasts like 4 hours. And see, that to me was the last time that phones did what they're doing now. As we got to the Note 4 era, where phones had huge batteries, the Note 4 had a huge fucking battery, and
They were so good, I know.
They all looked really good. They were fast, and then they were like, "All right, so what's next? Let's make them thinner. Let's take away features." And that's basically what's happening now. Everybody's like,
Yeah.
"We want dual front-facing speakers." Okay, let's take away any front-facing speakers and add a
Yeah.
notch. Let's add two cameras where one you'll never ever use because reasons.
Because reasons. Fucking
You know
Google.
how you
Great
never
on
had
Pixel,
the-
Mark,
the
but
Pixel
you'll
phones
never
have
take a picture with it.
the Pixel phones have. They're sticking with one camera on the back, but two cameras on the front.
Right.
Like, what? What are you doing?
That almost makes more sense though.
Go on.
Like, okay, so the gimmicks with the two cameras on the back of the phone are either you get a telephoto that's not worth a crap and you might as well step forward anyway, or like this one has like a wide aperture second camera, which is completely freaking pointless. With the selfie cam, you have your normal selfie and then you have like a group selfie or something like that, like a wider angle that makes more sense. Whereas people taking pictures with smartphones, they're all terrible. No one knows how to take pictures with a phone. Everyone takes the exact same picture with a phone, regardless how many cameras you throw on there. Like there was that one phone that had like 800 cameras, like 80 cameras on the front. It was like an entire case, and everyone's still just vertical picture right there, Snapchat, done.
But
That's it.
but Adam, I thought everyone with an Instagram account and a couple filters was a photographer.
Hashtag
Oh.
photographer.
So
That's what I thought.
we just got a We just got a really good super chat in. We usually don't read them in the middle of the podcast, but Zach Talks Tech always has such good points, and he also gave us $10. So he says, true or false?
Good money.
Yeah, Samsung listens to the community. Example, headphone jack, no notch, expandable storage, and original design. All things that other brands have gone the opposite way on. That's very true. They seem to be keeping, hopefully they'll continue this trend of keeping what the fans want in. The only thing they're missing is like expandable or removable batteries. Yeah,
Wow.
didn't say that. Yeah,
I don't think that.
that's all. Like, you don't think
Don't
that?
all
thing?
iPhone fans think that Samsung just copies Apple? Isn't that?
Oh yeah, that's what happens every year. I think Samsung like
has their own
accidentally
design.
does it. I think
Yeah.
I think Samsung fell into this. Like I think they accidentally do it. Like they made a really good phone design. First of all, they have enough market share and enough pull to where they can just do whatever the fuck they want and just try it.
True.
They
That is
had a
true.
really good phone design. Where like if another phone company does it, it could like make or break them for the whole year. But like Samsung, they nailed the phone design with the S8. They played it safe with the S9. And I don't think they're like, I think they might listen to consumers now, but I think they fell into that because it really seemed like that. I think Samsung was just being Samsung, and people were like, wow, they're really listening to us. And Samsung is like, yeah, yep, all ears listening. I think they just accidentally fell into it, and hopefully they continue to listen to people. I don't know.
You know what it feels like to me? Because around the time where Samsung was making big switches from removable batteries and storage, things like that.
Real quick, why can't you say removable battery?
It's like every day some dice roll and pick a word I can't say for the day. It doesn't matter.
Like literally.
Anyway, yeah, yeah, exactly. They moved away from these like norms now, and there was so much backlash from the consumers. I was working at Best Buy at the time. So many people were like, wait. The new Note doesn't have expandable storage and battery you can take out. They're like, oh, well, fuck that. Give me like the LG. I think they lost enough business to where they're like, whoa, okay, whoa. Hang on. Because Samsung phones for the longest time were like utility phones. They were like little PCs. They were the ones you got because you could do everything on them, you know? Like they were the anti-iPhone. And I think that's still kind of true in a good way. I just want to see if they get the notch, we're done. We've lost. The fight is over.
It's all over.
I still hold out hope. Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
like they've really settled down. Like they were fucking for years. Their commercials were just like, "Look at all the things this phone can do," but nobody used any of it. It didn't fucking matter. They just did it because they can do it. Now they've started to like settle down and just give a really well designed, streamlined, simple phone. Like even TouchWiz is way calmed down now. Do they still call it TouchWiz? I don't remember. I don't know.
You know what? I don't know.
TouchWiz. I feel like they should have
The
changed the
media
name.
still calls it that, but I've never seen it called that in the phone in a long time.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah.
Me either. They've really calmed down
They still
because
call it Bixby.
Oh yeah, fucking
No, ew,
Bixby. Ew. Yeah. I just as long as Samsung just holds on a little bit longer and doesn't put a notch in a phone until eventually the world figures a way to not have a notch in the phone, I'll be happy. Speaking of not having a fucking notch in a phone, Lenovo, you bitch. I don't.
Oh my god, good segue.
I cannot. I didn't do that on purpose. That was one of those Samsungs. Yeah, we're listening. I just fell into it.
Yeah, okay.
I still have not heard the end of this on Twitter. People go back to my tweet. I tweeted where I was like 7 months ago, Apple said they needed a notch. It had to be there. Here you go. Here's Lenovo Z5.
Yeah.
They did it. What about you, everybody else? And now I look like an idiot. And everyone's like replying to that tweet and being like, wow, John, you look stupid. And then I was like, I was getting fed up with it. So I was going to delete the tweet. But then some asshole said, oh, I bet he'll delete the tweet. So I was like, now I have to
got
keep
me
it
boxed
there.
in.
Yeah. So I'm just waiting it out until it goes away. Eventually,
Just pin the tweet to your profile. Just pin it to your profile.
Just go all in. I just
Yep.
like
There you go.
they did this right. This is not me. They released the pictures. I would understand if it was some shit blogger that was like, this is a leaked picture of the Lenovo Z5, and they fell for it, and then everyone jumped on that blogger's bandwagon. But it was Lenovo themselves and the CEO or whatever his fucking face is like, we patented like 7 different technologies to make this a thing. This is an amazing phone. This is the future. And it comes out and it's shitty. It's real shitty. And it's $200 shitty.
It's so bad.
It's so bad. It's the worst.
It's not even worth talking about. It's so budgety and shitty. And you have like ruined your like honestly very good prediction like reputation on this. Like you just completely got fucked by Lenovo.
I know.
It's amazing.
One thing. I love that. Like no matter what I've said in the past and got right, this is the one thing that everyone's going to remember. Like there was during the Apple keynote, WWDC, where I was like, days before, I was like, there's not going to be any hardware. And then there was no hardware. And someone commented, wow, your predictions have been spot on lately. All the replies to that were like, spot on, Lenovo Z5, John's an idiot. The whole thing.
Oh, God, I love it.
I'll never live it down. It'll be 2025, and people are still going to bring up the Lenovo thing. I will well, here I am talking about him again. But I will never bring them up in a show. Like in Front Page Tech, I don't care. They could give us the actual like bezel-less phone for the first time ever, and I will shit in their mouth.
The worst part is that one of your favorite things is telling people I told you so. So this is working in the exact opposite direction.
I mean,
you need to do a new ad spot that is for the Lenovo Z5, but describe it as a bezel-less phone that's just, breaking all of the norms.
Like we should put that in the actual show, like advertise Lenovo Z5 bezel-less.
Yeah.
Just
has
fake
no notch,
forever.
no bezel, just 100% screen, and just show the real pictures and just be like, there's no notch there at all. Nope.
I feel like double idiot. I feel like double idiot because in the show where I ranted about how amazing Lenovo is for having the balls to do this, fucking assholes. Somebody called, I think it was Prasoon. He is very active in the community. He was like, I hope this is real. And I replied and was like, of course it's real. Because the company released the pictures. Because the company, they did it. They said we made this. And they didn't. You lied. I hate them forever. I hate them forever for doing this.
You're so angry.
Oh, it's just, I don't understand. What did I do to deserve this? I feel like they saw me rant about them and they're like, we're going to destroy John Prosser. This is it.
Take him down.
They actually do have a bezel-less phone. They just released a shitty one.
And they also blocked you on Twitter, too.
Oh,
right?
yeah, they blocked me on Twitter, which I love more than anything. That is, I'll hold that near and dear to my heart for the rest of my life.
It's a badge of honor.
Lenovo blocked me on Twitter. Yeah. I mean, I know I said really nasty things to them, but I mean, I'm just a boy.
I think you were yelling "fuck you" to them.
I said "fuck you" and your stupid fucking lying faces. I believe was my exact words.
That was it.
But I don't think that means you got to block me. You know?
No, what I love is that the company is that big, and yet the social media person or whatever chain of discussion found the video, heard you say that, and took the time to block you on Twitter. It
was just like a company. Who's this guy?
Someone at a company that big got that deeply offended to block you on Twitter.
But they did it to themselves. I couldn't have been the only one that was shitting on them. I can only imagine the tweets throughout the day. And I looked at their Twitter before they blocked me, obviously. And they didn't block Front Page Tech, by the way, but I can't use Front Page Tech right now, so it's nah. I looked at their Twitter. They had tweeted nothing all day about the phone. It was all about like other shit. Like, oh, I'm sorry, you're not proud of this? Are you not proud of the phone? You don't want to tell people that it's available. Fucking shitbirds. Lenovo. Shitbird. I want that to be the name of their Twitter account. Okay, let's do Q&A for the last few minutes of the show. If you guys have anybody in chat, if you guys have questions or whatever, you just want to say noises at us and make Brian read them, do that. Also, for $2,000, Brian will take his shirt off and dance.
Yeah, for a couple hundred, Millie will dance. You know how it goes. We talked about it earlier.
For $200, he will abuse his cat. Live on the
She likes it.
She likes the abuse.
They always say.
That's what every abusive husband says about their wives. You said you liked it.
This is a cat. Oh my!
I don't want to hurt you. I don't think
they actually say that. Okay.
I can't see the chat at all. So are they saying anything in particular? I feel so detached because I haven't looked at the chat. Why?
Oh, here we go. First one I saw. Mr. Price Wheel, do you suck on toes? Nope, haven't done that before. Have really no intention to do that. Feet gross you out, right?
Feet are fucking gross. Mostly because I have to see my own. But I have like macaroni toes. I don't know what this was. I used to. I'm too fucking. I can't do it. I'm not flexible, and I'm too fat to do it now. But I used to bite my toenails.
What?
I was younger. I was way younger.
Gross.
I was way younger. I want to say like, 13's not young enough to do that. But that's the age I was, and I would literally pick up my foot and bite my toenails off. Listen, maintenance.
So Adam, I really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
It's a shame you'll never be joining us again. Yeah.
This is the first time
really burned this bridge,
Adam
John.
and I have ever talked like not on
samesies.
Discord. And
I don't understand how people can bite their fingernails. Nevertheless, yeah.
I live for biting my fingernails. Look at my fucking meat claw thing.
Oh my god, apparently never mind.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Wow. No, it was Zach Talks Tech also said he bit his toenails.
When? Because Zach is way older than me, I think. I don't know.
I mean, does it make it worse?
He's okay. To me, I'm still not an adult yet. Zach is an adult, so why is he biting his?
You're gonna be 25 in a couple months.
I'm not there yet. All right, some people are late bloomers.
John's a late bloomer.
Yeah, that's very true.
Listen, man, I don't know what you want from me. I just make noises on the internet for money.
We don't.
Tech God wants to know. He wants to know what we think about the BlackBerry Key 2.
Don't give a fuck. What year is it? What year is it?
I have to agree.
Like,
if it works,
who cares?
If it works and it isn't them just like putting a BlackBerry facade over top a $200 Android smartphone that doesn't run very well, I would prefer that to most smartphone trends in 2018, to be honest.
Does
like, I'm so done with the smartphone market. Like,
I agree with you.
I would much rather just have a little PDA at this point.
BlackBerry doesn't make their own hardware anymore.
That's the reason I got my Note 5. I got the worst Note they probably ever made, other than the exploding one, because the Note 4 was
that was a really good phone. Besides the fire.
phone. Yeah, but the Note 4 was such a utilitarian phone that I was like, yeah, that is the ideal phone for me. And then I get this, and this is probably the worst phone I've owned. I've only owned a few smartphones, but it's the worst one. And so I would use a PDA probably again over an iPhone or a Lenovo notched phone.
I used to have a really big fucking thick gray brick of a phone that ran Windows Mobile 6. It came with a stylus, and it literally had like a start menu, and everything was this tiny, and you had to learn how to live life with that, and the battery was a total 20 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, it was
had a Palm Pilot.
Really?
I just want to go back to my Motorola Razr.
Yes, I still have mine up, actually, back there. I still have mine. Flip phone.
Do you mean $5 super chat?
Okay. Huh? Guess I don't matter. Fuck me.
No, sorry.
Do you mean the really popular Razr flip phone, or the one years later that ran Android and was kind of meh?
Which one do you fucking think, John? You think I want the shitty Android phone? No.
Don't get lippy with me, sir.
Well, get lippy with Viper, because he sent us a $5 super chat saying, "Okay, John, per our Twitter convo, why is YouTube unsubbing people from my channel? Why is this a thing?"
Okay, so because they're not real. Last couple minutes of the stream or of the actual show, we're going to do a post show after this. So if you're listening live, what? If you aren't listening live or watching live, if you're listening to this, shut up. Removable battery. Hey, Brian, that's number one. Okay. Number two, if you are listening to this on iTunes or watching this after the fact on YouTube, we're live. And after the show's over, we do a post show, and that is never shown to the public. So watch the show Saturday nights, not 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have our shit together. There's no argument against that. So yeah, okay. So YouTube, Viper was mentioning that when he uploads a video, he loses a subscriber or two. Wow. I will let you know that every time we upload a video, we lose maybe 20. And I would assume it's kind of the same for you, Adam.
Yep. You always grow more when you're not uploading. Basically.
Yeah. There's two reasons. Number one, they're kind of tied together. Number one is subscriber burn. So subscriber burn is a thing that happens. A good example of that is PewDiePie, where he grew his channel atop the throne of gaming for the longest time, and then he was like, I don't care anymore. And his interest shifted, which is fine. And he started making other content, so people started skipping videos. And the more videos somebody skips that you upload, every time you upload, that counts as a video that they skipped. If they skipped like the past 5 or whatever, after so many times, YouTube's like, oh, they aren't interested in him anymore. Goodbye. So either they unsubscribe the person or they stay subscribed, but they never see anything you're posting because YouTube doesn't think that you actually give a shit and that you're going to watch the video, so they just don't show it to you. And that's how people can have... PewDiePie can have like 65 million subscribers and only get like only 3 or 4 million views for a video. He's suffering from subscriber burn there. Another reason is the account isn't active anymore. It's not, or it wasn't real to begin with. So when you upload a video, they've also skipped a bunch of videos because it's not a real account, and boop, gone. So it's not like the algorithm isn't trying to fuck you in the butt, per se. It's not trying to ruin your career. It's not against you. It's, I mean, if anything, it's a good thing because the YouTube really like heavily dove into like as accurate numbers as possible, as hard as that seems. And that's really important for advertisers. That's really important for YouTube's business as a whole for numbers to be accurate. So like buying views doesn't really work anymore. Buying subscribers doesn't really work anymore. They eventually get purged out. Like it eventually all gets removed anyway. So YouTube's getting really, really, really good at accurate numbers. And that's what you're seeing. You're just uploading a video and those 1 or 2 subscribers that you lost are just not real accounts of people that haven't watched your videos in a while and they want your subscriber number to be accurate. So don't sweat it. They're not trying to kill you. They're trying to kill Brian.
Hey, speaking of Brian, moving. So I'm skipping through some super chats. I'll make sure we hit them all in the post show, but I'm trying to get the ones that are going to provoke good conversation. I saw this one come up.
One more.
This is a great one to end on. Tell me if it's not. $5 from Russell Larry. He says, what is your guys' opinions on the battle of the CPUs between AMD and Intel at a computer conference this week? Now, John and I aren't exactly one to keep up to date, but Adam, is that in your wheelhouse?
Ooh, and Adam is sponsored by Intel.
Yeah, full disclosure, I have a working relationship with them. However, I find this whole thing hilarious, and it is purely YouTube drama more so than actual... like if people are seeing the drama side than actual like tech drama. But at Computex, which is a major Taiwan engineering show, it's not really a product showcase. You usually never even see the products or they're 2 years out or whatever. Intel was like, hey, look, we have a 28 core CPU, which if you're not familiar is ridiculous. Like I have the most expensive consumer processor in my computer you can get. It is 18 cores. So really high spec processor and it's running really, really fast, 5 gigahertz. Now, they didn't tell anyone that they were overclocking it with some liquid chiller that you can't really get in your computer.
Liquid
and then
chiller,
AMD was like, oh yeah, well, we have a 32-core processor, and one-upped them. And so we're getting back to the 2007, 2008 arms race of Intel and AMD butting heads again, trying to race to the top. Now I can't say a word. And that's really good. Suddenly people are fighting about this, but this is literally what we wanted. When we had AMD lying dormant, not producing a processor worth buying for like 8 years, that was bad. That's Intel having a monopoly. That is inherently bad. 2 companies innovating as fast as they can, even if it's experimental at a show, really good thing. The problem is Gamers Nexus put out a video calling bullshit on the whole thing because they were using some liquid chiller and it wasn't really overclocked, and it's basically it was like an older processor that they upgraded to present as a new one, which is how every computer part is made ever, and you can't even do what they're doing on AMD's platform in the first place ever. So there's a little back and forth of basically YouTube fans arguing with each other over whose opinion is right, which isn't how the internet works or opinions work. If you're unfamiliar, graphics card used to be made literally by taking the highest end from the last generation, gluing 2 of them together, and releasing them as one card until they figured out a way to make it faster. So using an older processor, using an older processor and making it faster is not all that weird.
Yeah.
Great. Now look what you've done. Our whole career is surrounded by iOS, Android debates and arguments in the comments section, and I've steered away from a couple things in my career: politics and AMD versus Intel. And now you've brought
to
that
real technology.
Yeah, you've brought that anger upon us. So thank you for that.
I want to go back to Nvidia versus ATI. That's
Yes.
what I remember. Going on
Yes.
like message boards and being like, huh, my Radeon, whatever, 4400 or whatever. It's like, it heats my apartment. Ha ha ha. How about you, NVIDIA fanboys? That's what I remember when it comes to graphics cards competitions. But AMD really came back with Ryzen, right? That was their big thing. They were kind of going into obscurity with that before that, right?
Yeah, they were releasing basically office computer processors that had little innovation, and everyone was complaining about Intel price gouging. And then AMD released the exact same equivalent, basically, that Intel has, showing that they had no advancements in tech beyond Intel anyway, but just at a cheaper price. And now they're racing to see who can make the best and the fastest and the most core processors. And that's inherently good for everybody, because that means everybody's improving, prices go down. And those of you who don't have wallets made of infinite money are buying like 3-year-old parts, most likely. And those parts in a year or so will actually be really, really good.
And this message is brought to you by Intel.
Well, no. Buy whatever you want.
But Intel's better.
I will be at an Intel competition in 2 weeks, though. That'll be pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. You're judging?
Yeah. I get to meet
How
Linus.
official?
Yeah.
It's terrifying. Where is this happening? When is this happening?
Portland, Oregon. It's for they always do ad spots on a bunch of the big channels. The Extreme Rig Challenge. Where basically a bunch of OEMs like try to build the most badass computer with the same set of parts. And one of the judges had to bow out or not go to the event. So I'm subbing in to do the judging in the live stream and stuff with Linus and Soldier Knows Best.
So wait, Soldier Knows Best is involved?
Yeah.
Wow, I haven't heard of him in a while.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm impressed.
That was my reaction.
If anything, you'd be subbing in for him.
I haven't heard his name in a long time.
No, he was a big name back like a few years ago. It's just been a while.
Yeah.
When I first got into the tech scene, he was big, but
he was very big. Forever. If anything, Intel would be like, "Oh, Soldier Knows Best still a thing? Bring Adam in."
They have some World of Warcraft YouTuber actually that I'm subbing in for Trade Chat.
Brian, you know?
Oh, never heard of him. No.
Brian's
I am
the
WoW guy, the
YouTubers.
WoW guy.
Okay, that's the show. I'm ending it. I'm calling it a show. Review, rate, all that good stuff on iTunes, and of course, Brian, what should they say in the comment section if they watched all the way through for this episode?
John used to suck his toes.
That is not what I... Okay. Well, I can't take that back now. So now that exists. Adam, thank you for being on Recycle Bin. I'm sorry your first episode was a train wreck. People can find Adam, youtube.com/EposVox. All his links will be down in the description below, by the way. But look, I would just watch him because he has a wonderful voice and you want to hear the videos with that voice.
Of course.
Doesn't EposVox, we were talking about this before we went live, but doesn't that literally mean epic voice or epic voiceover or something?
Yeah, the words are backwards for Latin, but in Latin, vox epos means epic voice.
Oh, so your voice epic.
Yeah, voice epic.
I'm just going to call you that now. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you sometime. I don't care. Goodbye.